FM Talk 1065, the Gulf Coast Weather Authority. The safety is off. There's a round in the chamber. This is Armed Alabama. Sponsored by McCoy Outdoor Company, Mobile's hometown full-line outdoor sporting products and gear store. An interactive talk show discussing self-defense, product reviews, shooting tips, safety, and more. Your calls, comments, and texts welcome at 343-0106. Now, here are your hosts, retired judge and certified NRA instructor Rusty Johnston and certified NRA law enforcement instructor Adam Strange.
Out here in the country where the city lights don't shine, I live my life the simple way, and you know I'm doing just fine. I fish, I hunt, and I shoot my guns, and I raise a little hell. The things I do, you know I do them well. This is my America, and I'm so proud, and I don't mind. I say it loud. This is my America. God bless America, land of the free, because of the brave. This is my America.
Welcome to Armed Alabama. This is Judge Rusty Johnston, your host tonight. Adam Strange has the night off. We're going to have a great show tonight, focusing on a couple of topics. But as usual, if you have a question about anything related to firearms or politics related to firearms or laws, give us a call here at FM Talk 1065. That's 251-343-0106. Remember, Armed Alabama is Alabama's only firearm-based FM radio talk show. We talk about pistols, revolvers, shotguns, concealed carry. We talk about self-defense ammunition, training, and, of course, attacks on our God-given right to protect ourselves and our family. I want to thank singer-songwriter Buck Allen. He's going to be with us at 7:30 and tell us what he's got going on tomorrow. And a slight hint, he's going to be on the Laura Ingraham show tomorrow. So we want to hear about that. Also, I want to thank McCoy Outdoors as our main sponsor. They're not only a store that sells, quote, sporting goods, unquote. They sell running shoes. They sell clothes. They sell everything you can imagine that's slightly even related to the outdoors. If you think Bass, whatever the Bass store's name. What's the whole
Bass
name?
Pro Shop.
Pro Shop. I couldn't think. It is like Bass Pro Shop, except without all the traffic. And, they have the traffic circles deliberately made going into Bass to keep you there the longest that you can stay. Of course, McCoy Outdoors is located on Spring Hill Avenue, just west of where I-65 passes over it, and that's in the Spring Hill Shopping Center where old K&B was, if anybody remembers back that long. I also want to thank my good friend and fellow lawyer, Steve Moore. He's one of our sponsors with the Moore Law Firm. He's located here in Mobile, went to law school with me. And when I say located in Mobile, because of the new telecom, how it's set up, you can get a number that appears to be a Mobile, Alabama number. I hate to say mobile or Mobile number because people get that confused with a cell phone. But you can get a number that says 432 something, and it's actually ringing in West Virginia. So, but no, Steve is a native, lifelong Mobilean. So is his nephew. And you need to go see them if you have a personal injury. Now, had a good question last week. What's a personal injury? That is generally negligence or wantonness, where somebody does something to you that the ordinary person wouldn't have, like accidentally run over you in their car, or stay 1 foot behind you when it's raining and you're out on the highway, or build a machine without checking it out completely enough and it explodes on you. Those are negligence and or wantonness type cases, and that's what Steve specializes in. Check him out on the web, and that would be www.moorelawfirm-al.com. Tonight, I said we're going to talk a little bit about home hardening, and we're going to talk about also attacks on our freedom. And one thing I want to start off tonight showing you is, and you can, I'm telling you, this is a lot of trouble. So if you're my age, which is just short of 60, it's probably too much trouble. So if you want anything like I'm going to show you, call up Hunter Security. They can put it in without you crawling in your underneath your house on your back or through a hot attic. But these are security cameras. Now,
and Rusty, before you even get any further, people who are able to see that are only being able to see it because they've got
They should get on Facebook, and I'm going to describe it. Facebook, if you've signed up and liked the page, which you ought to just to be a good person, but you get alerts when the show starts. So, but if you didn't get an alert or you have too many, go to Armed Alabama Radio, FM Talk 106.5, and you can see what I'm getting ready to show you. Cameras now are called generally CCTV cameras, closed circuit television. But that doesn't really tell you much. The one I have here is a 1080 pixel so-called HD camera, and you'll notice the wires. And the first thing a lot of people tell me is, why wouldn't you get the wireless? Well, the problem with the wireless is they need a power source near the camera to run it. This thing's on so hard I can't really show you. It gets off. But this camera will run at night. It will. It has infrared capabilities at night, and really you can see, 50 feet.
What does that take? A couple of wood screws to mount it?
3. And that's what I was going to show you, but somehow I'm too weak to get it off. But this being a wired camera, it has what they call a BNC cable. One takes the video and one takes the power, and that's one of the lines right here. So let's say there are a good many houses in Mobile that have that are built on piers, as they say, like mine is, where they have 2, 3, 4 foot crawl space under them. That's ideal for putting a camera in like that. I have a camera system that will take 8 cameras. That's an 8-channel system. But you can do it on the cheap, actually, and have one camera going into your TV for probably $50 or less. The reason I think these are so important is not from the standpoint of, proving who burglarized your house. They're going to get caught eventually when they burglarize another house. They're not going to pay you back what they stole from you. But it's essential to have if you're sitting in your living room or your bedroom where you can have a monitor in both, and somebody bangs on the door, especially when it's dark. Is it a relative of yours coming to tell you some bad news or maybe good news? Or is it one of these people that just checks houses to see if people are home? And if it's the latter, you can choose not to go or get a gun ready or call 911. Intelligence, knowing what's going to happen, that's the secret of being safe in your home. But you got to lock your doors first. As we always talk about, 50% of burglaries take place residentially because the burglar comes in through unlocked doors or unlocked windows. Burglars don't want to attract attention. When you have to smash a door open, which you can do fairly easily, it makes a lot of noise, and there's more chance they're going to get shot, arrested. Just go to the next house. It'll probably be unlocked. And in contrast to what most people think, most burglaries now are taking place in the daytime because, the family structure's kind of shifted. So you have maybe a mother and a father, husband and wife, both working. And it's better to come by, and then I can come by at 8 o'clock because most of them sleep a little late, but maybe at 10:30, knock on your door, try to get your attention, etc. That's why having a good barking dog, everybody hates dogs that bark, except when the burglar comes by. So we're going to talk about some things like that and also some attacks on our freedom, which are tremendous. And as I mentioned last week, the anniversary of Hurricane Camille, 49, was last Friday. So we need to think about the people who perished in that and their relatives, and what can we do to prevent such tragedies in the future. One is education. Study up on it. Don't wait on the mayor, the governor, the whatever to tell you to leave. You know where you live. Do you have rotten trees around your house? Cut them away. But that's the kind of things we're going to talk about. Remember, you can hear us on Facebook. You can also go to the FM Talk website or the Armed Alabama website and hear a simulcast of this. If you have a call or question, call us at 251-343-0106, and that takes a text also. We'd love to answer it, and tell your friends and family we're on there. We'll be back with more of Armed Alabama.
Step up to the firing line. Armed Alabama is back. Questions, comments, and texts at 343-0106.
Whenever you're ready, Judge.
We're ready to go, and I'll give a quote from Tacitus. He was the great Roman historian that lived from 56 AD, or as atheists say, CE, Common Era.
I remember him well.
I won't try the Latin, but I said I've used this quote when I was sworn into office. Judges are best in the beginning. They deteriorate as time passes.
Something to think about.
That's pretty good. We were talking about camera systems in addition to the CCT type cameras. They also have doorbell cameras. That'd be a place to check out Hunter Security. It's just a camera on your doorbell. Somebody rings, you can, who is it? Or if you see somebody with a gun, you just go dial 911. But lots of houses, including mine, the front doors are kind of welcoming. Please come up to the front door.
I bet you have welcome mats under your front door.
It probably does, as opposed to my son's front mat that says, come back with a warrant.
I like that. Need to find out where he got that.
I know. But I have on the sides of my doors what lots of people have. They're called side lights. And they're, I think, 3. Some people is full length. Glass, sometimes it's frosted. There are 2 problems with that. One, the whole structural integrity of the front door system is weakened because your door frame is not anchored to the house.
Yeah.
And second, 9 times out of 10, people either have deadbolt locks that either have just the switch on the inside or leave the key in there because it becomes a hassle. Well, all a burglar has to do is smash his hand through that thin pane of glass and grab your wife as she comes to the door, or worse, daughter, and you've got trouble on your hands. So a cheap way to get around that is to get there's several different names for this. The name brand is Lexan, Lexan. If you can get it, and you got to kind of look around, a 1/4 inch thick, you can cut it with a jigsaw. It does not take any art to do this. You cut it the same. You can either replace your window frames, or better yet, on the inside, just put it over your 2 or 3 windows, screw it down, nice brass screws, whatever you want to use. If somebody smashes through that window, they're going to have to take a hammer or something to get through that Lexan. They can get through it and shoot through it, but it's tough. It's 250 times stronger than glass. So why not do something like that? It does not take a lot of time. Probably take you less than $70 because Lexan is fairly expensive. And then you've at least got those front side lights taken care of. You don't have to worry about people. And same thing would go for your back door. Now, your backyard is something you really got to consider. Lots of people have dogs, completely fenced-in backyard. It's rare that a burglar's going to poison a dog like you see on TV. It's possible, but, I'd be willing to take that chance. But a lot of people have backyards where they have a fence, but between their house and their neighbor, they either have no fence there or a gate that's always open. That's the area a burglar can come in real easy. You can just walk down your driveway and then have access to take all the time in the world on your back door. Think about putting in, as I am, one of these, I call them fake wrought iron, but they're aluminum or steel fences that look like, the old wrought iron fences downtown. By the way, those type fences have been approved by the Mobile Architectural Board to replace the ones downtown. So they're good looking. will last, a lot longer than wrought iron will. But you got to get them about 6 feet tall, but they look pretty good. But got to lock them up. Now you've got a backyard. Then unless you've got a burglar that brings a ladder and all of this, you're dealing with a different kind of animal then. You're probably pretty safe in your backyard. But lock your door still, because the second choice of coming in after the front door is that back door.
You know, talking about back doors, and I do not have a privacy fence around my backyard. My neighbors have part of it privacy fenced, but actually that privacy fence could keep your neighbors from seeing somebody in your backyard.
It's kind of good and bad, isn't it?
So it's you kind of have to balance the thing.
You really do.
My neighbors and I, we all try to, every once in a while take a look at your neighbor's house, see if anything out of the ordinary is going on over there.
And that's wonderful. A lot of new neighborhoods, people have taken the position, I'm not going to be a busybody. I don't want a busybody. Well, I would rather have a busybody calling me saying, somebody's climbing through your window, and it turns out to be my son who didn't live at home and he couldn't find the key.
Well, I had a neighbor I called the other day because for about an hour and a half, there was a guy sitting in a black pickup truck in the yard across the street from me, parallel to the street. So I finally called him and I said, "Is that a friend of yours?" And he said no, but he would take a look, and if he doesn't move on pretty soon, we'll get the law enforcement people to come out. So it's helpful, and I would challenge our listeners to say, do you know the names of the people living on either side of you and maybe the one or two across the street from you? And if you don't, get over there and introduce yourself.
Hello. That's right. You can say, hey, I've been real negligent, but I've been listening to Armed Alabama, and it brought things to mind. Or we hadn't talked in 20 years. All my children live out of town now. So if you ever see anybody, appears to be gaining entrance, give me a call. Here's my cell phone, because lots of people change cell phones.
And we do that too.
Like they change underwear, every week.
I almost want to put a poster on the utility poles with a set of eyes on it and saying, eyes are
watching
everywhere.
You.
Eyes are watching you.
I'll give you another Tacitus quote. I was really looking for this one. And this is so important when we have the mega corporations censoring people's speech. It is the rare fortune of these days that one may think what one likes and say what one thinks. It's also from Tacitus. And, I hear the argument, and I know you do, well, they're private companies. They can do what they want. Well, Hilton Hotel's a private company, yet if let's say a black couple comes to the desk, they can't say, I'm sorry, we don't allow blacks at this hotel. It's because of the Commerce Clause. And the Commerce Clause has been stretched as far as the expanding universe. They can very easily pass a law that says any define what Google and all those things are, that does business in interstate commerce may not censor, may not bar, blah, 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 on the account of political actions. The other day, and I mentioned this on the gun show, and if you want to hear this kind of thing on Saturday, go to Matt Canovi's gun show on KSGF in Springfield. But
Missouri.
Springfield. That's right. Somebody posted something, said this in Springfield. I said Springfield, Missouri, Illinois, Massachusetts.
Probably one in Mississippi.
And there were a couple of other ones. But they say they're public corporations. Number one, they're public in that whoever owns stock in them has a say in what goes on, too. And we ought to have a stockholders' revolt to this. But it is amazing how they censor. Oh, I know what I was getting to. Antifa New York has a nice web page on Facebook. You can all go by and see it. Their regular page, their kind of main page is It's Going Down. I don't think it has a www, just put It's Going Down. And it will give you the strategy of how to harm police, how to disrupt the government. They are an anarchist terrorist organization.
But they're okay on Facebook?
They're okay on Facebook, but my big problem with Alex Jones was he would never let a guest answer a question. But if people want to watch that, he's not using profanity.
But he also anchored his show on a pirate radio station.
Originally, yeah. And, I'm not going to watch it, but a lot of other people are, and who knows when they're going to decide that shows that advocate Christianity or Judaism or whatever, that those are ones that we just don't need to have on, or advocate the Second Amendment. And those companies could not survive if it wasn't for our public telecommunications system.
And the guests you've got coming up after this
We've
break
got Buck Allen.
Had this same issue come up because
his
sites were shut down.
I did not know
on
that.
Facebook and YouTube.
It is amazing some of the cream puff sites that I've heard. I mean, I could go through and pick out sites that, kind of pornographic, et cetera. And the Supreme Court has set up rules for those, community standards. If the people in the community think it's vile enough, it can be banned. But it's got to get pretty vile. We're going to go to our break, and this is our bottom of the hour break. Come back, we're going to have Buck Allen. You can still give us a call, 343-0106, area code 251 on Armed Alabama.
This program is a production of Armed Alabama, LLC. The comments and views of the hosts are those of Armed Alabama, LLC, for which it is solely responsible. The view and comments of the callers, guests, and texters do not necessarily represent the views of the sponsors or advertisers of Armed Alabama, LLC, or of Armed Alabama, LLC, Bigler Broadcasting, LLC, FM Talk 1065, or WABH. No comments from Judge Rusty Johnston should be taken as legal advice, but as educational information. Judge Johnston is not engaged in the practice of law and should not be sought out to answer legal questions off the air. Seek legal advice from a qualified attorney who knows the complete specifics of your legal matter.
Step up to the firing line. Armed Alabama is back. Questions, comments, and texts at 343-0106.
Why, you gonna pull those pistols or whistle Dixie?
That's Clint Eastwood. I want to thank, before we get started again, once again, Steve Moore for his help. The Steve Moore Law Firm. They're located on 8 North Dearborn Street in Mobile. You can visit them on the web, www.moorelawfirm-al.com, or call them at 251-445-7602. Personal injury attorneys, that's all they do, and they're great guys. We have on the line with us Buck Allen, who sings our theme song and is a great guy and is going to tell us a number of things, one of which is about being on Laura Ingraham tomorrow. Hey, Buck.
Hey, good evening. Hope everybody's doing all right.
Doing pretty good, kind of drizzly where we are. How about where you are?
It's flat out raining here, sir.
Yeah. So Laura Ingraham comes on this show, on this station, FM Talk 1065.
From 9 to noon.
9 to noon. Do you know what time generally you may be on?
Yes, sir. It'll be 09:15 in the morning.
Great. So, folks, number one, you can listen to it on your FM, or you can go to FM Talk 1065, or you can go to even Armed Alabama site and go to Listen Live, and it just transmits that. Wow. Why? Tell us about how this happened, because I think it's just great. She's a great person, but for her to hook up with you is just wonderful.
Yes, sir. Well, about a month and a half ago now, somebody added me to a liberal group. And so, being the guy I am, I've tuned into Facebook, and I was looking at what they were posting, and I just thought I would jab them a little bit. And I just simply commented, "I love your president." They went bat poop crazy. So a guy like me, what am I to do? I had to sit down and write the song, sir. I was obligated.
And we're going to share that in just a few minutes.
So I sat down and I wrote the song, and then within 3 weeks from when I started it to when it was completely done, and we were working on that night and day, I posted it on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So I posted a quick video just to get the lyrics out there and the song out there, and within 4 hours of me posting it on YouTube terminated my entire songwriter account.
It's a hate song. Hate song. That's more preposterous than
dam in there is a big damn wall.
That is more preposterous than Stalin.
It's not. It's catchy.
Yeah, That within 4 hours. See, we've got a bunch of...
And it was his whole account.
Yeah, we've got a bunch, and which you depend on. A bunch of these leftist tattletales out there that are just cruising along, and they see anything that, is right of Joseph Stalin, and they report us.
Was YouTube the only one that gave you a problem?
Not at all. So the very same day, because, when you're going to debut something, you want to really give it a good boost.
Yeah.
So on Facebook and on Twitter, I did a 5-day campaign on each one, $20 a day. I invested $100 in each one,
right.
So a total of $200. And I do engagements all the time, paid campaigns. And it's an excellent way to get several thousand views or engagements. Each one I had 2 within 24 hours. They completely shut me down, and I deleted my campaign because it wasn't going to work out for me.
Buck, I told you this during the break. In 76, I was going to send Trump another donation. I thought, I can probably spend it better than he can. And John Voight had about a 3-minute speech he put on his YouTube channel. It's a great speech. So I got it and just put behind it, defeat Hillary. And with about $1,000, it reached by the resends and all about 500,000 people. Now I targeted the states that were in play. That was fine, no problem. Then I came up with kind of the same kind of thing when Roy Moore was in the runoff. There was just a technical difficulty for 48 hours, which our time ran, that I never could upload that. So they are definitely, censoring speeches. Some of y'all, I may have posted on the Armed Alabama site. You can just type in Antifa New York on Facebook, and you will find the nastiest, most revolutionary things. I haven't reported them, but I guarantee you they're a violent organization, and they will do violence when they have a chance. Charlie, what is our have you queued up?
Yeah, I've got the song queued up, Buck, but I wanted to ask you, where can people go to either hear your music or to buy it?
Or to get in touch with you, too.
Okay. Well, on Facebook, I'm across the internet, basically. I'm Buck Allen Songwriter. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, and I've got my own website. And
what is your website name, Buck? I'll put it on ours.
It's Buck Allen.
Okay.
Songwriter. You can find me Buck Allen Songwriter, and I'm all over the internet.
Okay. And spell your last name.
Allen.
Okay, because I wasn't sure if it was A-N or E-N, because it could go either way.
He doesn't listen to me every week. I say A-L-L-E-N.
Yep, absolutely. So even tonight, right? So I know I'm going on Laura Ingraham tomorrow. So that would be an event that you would want to boost for your friends,
sure.
Your followers and whatnot. So tonight I was trying to add a message onto a Mississippi political group that I'm in. No, you can't even send anything. I've been trying for the last 4 hours. I can't even, because it's got conservative speech in there, I can't even post the thing tonight.
And they would say at one time we were paranoid. Well, what is it? You're not paranoid if people are really out after you.
And they all scream, keep the internet free and open as long as you're posting stuff that we agree with.
But you know what? I mean, folks like us, I will stand up for anybody's free speech.
I will too.
For the fact that even if I disagree with you, you have the right to be an idiot if you want to be an idiot.
Usually you can expose their stupid ideas if you let them speak.
Right.
That's just incredible. I challenge anybody to go to YouTube and type in the word teen sex. You would be shocked at what comes up on YouTube, and yet nobody is attempting to, quote, censor that, which they should. I mean, it's things that ought to be rated X.
And Philip's talking to somebody, and I don't know if they wanted to ask Buck a question or not, but our time is getting short, and I do want to share this
Let's
song.
play our song, and then we'll find out who's on the line.
Buck, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Buck Allen. I'm from Hurley, Mississippi. And you know what? I love your president because he's awesome.
I love the train sound.
Still on the Trump train, baby.
I love my president. I love your president. I love our president, Donald Trump. He's gonna make America great again. stronger than it's ever been. You're gonna get tired of winning all the time. He's gonna build the southern wall. It's gonna be so damn tall. The Spider-Man wouldn't even wanna make that climb. I love my president. I love your president. I love our president, Donald Trump. Everybody's tired of fake news. All they do is lie and lose. And the liberal sheep just blindly follow along. They jump and they stomp and they whine a lot. They think that they're smart, but they're really not. Socialism doesn't work, it's just wrong.
Okay, and I said we were going to just take it to the bridge because the clock keeps running. Buck Allen there with I Love. Is it I Love Our President? Is that the correct title?
I love your president.
I love your president.
That's great.
Listen, let's go to the telephone.
We have Johnny C. on the line. Johnny, how are you?
Hey, Buck. Sure do like that song, buddy.
Turn it up, man.
Yeah, I've been listening to you sing them songs on the radio for a while.
Where are you calling from, Johnny?
I'm calling from Theodore, Alabama.
Oh, that's great. Any particular one of Buck's songs you like the best?
Well, I like this one a lot better than y'all running on the radio.
Well, we're going to see if we can incorporate it then.
Johnny, thank you for your call, buddy.
Yeah, appreciate that.
It's pretty good. I like the first one, but this one's even better.
Oh, yeah. He's getting better with age.
Thank you, Johnny.
Yeah. Buck, your main webpage is www.buckallensongwriter.com.
Yes, sir. You can find me there. You can just type in Buck Allen Songwriter, and you'll find me. I'm on everything out there.
Gotcha. I just wanted to put it on our Facebook page right now. Buck, how did you get into all this? Singing, songwriting, but patriotic type stuff?
I'm glad that you asked. I wasn't expecting that, but I'm really glad that you asked. So I've got 2 tattoos on my arm, and one of them is "It's Your Life," and the other one is "Strength and Honor." I was teaching a class today on leadership, and when you're teaching a class on leadership, one of the most important attributes of a leader is integrity.
Yep.
And so I asked the class, "What's integrity?" And they're all looking at each other, and they don't know. It's doing the right thing when nobody's looking.
Right.
So
that's when you know you're a grown up.
Not serving us and serving themselves. And what are you to do but to get involved? You can't sit by and be silent when things really matter. I'm not scared. I have a voice, an opinion, and I'm going to throw it out there. I will not be silent. It's people like you and me and your listeners that need to pull together to be strong and to make sure that there's a red wave come November to prove that we will not be silent.
Absolutely. If they win in November, we got a real problem. Buck, we're up against the break. Once again, you're on Laura Ingraham tomorrow.
At 9:15.
Yeah, tune in at a little after 9, but around 9:15 here on FM Talk 106.5 or on their website or on the Armed Alabama website too.
And I'd also like to say a brief hats off to those outstanding musicians that you have working so hard behind you.
Absolutely.
Right? Hey, and my thoughts go out to our boy tonight. Keep our minds with him.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Buck. We'll listen to you in the morning.
Yes, sir.
Take care. Singer-songwriter Buck Allen. Go visit him, www.buckallensongwriter.com. We'll be back with more.
Step up to the firing line. Armed Alabama is back. Questions, comments, and texts at 343-0106.
I mean to kill you in 1 minute, Ned, or see you hanged in Fort Smith at Judge Parker's convenience. Which will it be?
I call that bold talk for a one-eyed fat man.
I never have figured what he's got against fat men.
I think that's he ought to say rotund or something like that. Back with Armed Alabama.
Pleasantly plump.
That's right. After crawling under my house installing these cameras, I'm probably going to need to see Dr. Justin Foster, one of our sponsors. He's out in the Tillman's Corner area. Visit him, Justin Foster Chiropractic.
You need to get him back up here. He's a nice man, and he was on the show one time.
Yeah, interesting questions all about, some people don't. I think chiropractic is great if you know your diagnosis. Obviously, if you fall off a building and you've hurt your back, you don't know what you got. So
let me tell you why I got honest respect for him immediately, because I had a little condition with a pinched nerve, and I asked him, I said, can you help me with that? And he said no.
There you go.
And to me that says that's a person with some integrity when they're, he could have just as easily say, well, come by and we can make it better or something, but he just said no.
I was going to say, I went to a chiropractor once for my back, who I think he did some good, but, I saw pamphlets and stuff in the waiting room for migraines, for even diabetes, and I thought, now he did me fine, but, that was a little unsettling. Remember, too, our other sponsors, Hunter Security. You can see them for cameras, burglar alarms, anything like that. Hanson Heating and Air. God forbid your air conditioning break down. Now you're trouble. Mike Ward Liberty Safes, not just to put your guns in, but your valuables, too. And, of course, our Ace Hardware Store, Spring Hill, Moffett Road, and Creola. And holding in my hand here, what is this he's holding in his hand? This is a Kel-Tec Sub 2000 Gen 2, because the second generation.
It almost looks like a barrel with handles.
Yeah. It folds in half, as the people watching on Facebook can see, or you can watch it later. It is set up to take Beretta M9 magazines, the same that I use for my pistol I carry. So you can switch back and forth.
And the weapon is all black.
It's a 29-inch long weapon. It has a little adjustable stock, so it could be 28. But the nice thing about it is shooting 9, and, you have that group of people that say, well, I need a 45, or I need a 10 millimeter, I need a 75 millimeter, whatever. You put a couple of shots in someone with a 9 millimeter, they're going to hurt. But the thing about it is the long barrel increases the velocity of the 9 millimeter bullet, probably about 100 feet per second, but also dampens the sound a good bit. With your adrenaline, you open fire in a house with a shotgun, you're going to have permanent hearing damage. Now, that's better than being killed, but anyone in your house can use this gun, and it's not going to terrify them. 30-round magazine. They're fair. I don't know who sells them in town, frankly, but they are around $350. You can get them set up for Glock magazines. I just did the Beretta because I have the Beretta M9, but they're also good for your car. You can slip them in a bag, a briefcase, or whatever. Got a lot of firepower there. The whole art of defending your home is not waiting for a sound and then rushing with your shotgun to confront whoever's invaded your house. It is to harden your home, and if they get in, you close your safe room, let's say it's your master bedroom. Hopefully you've got a substantial lock and substantial hinges on the door. And if they come to you, it's like you're on the high ground, like Sun Tzu said, the famous Chinese general, hold the high ground. If they come to the high ground and try to get through that door, blast them. And it's just so much better than going out and fighting someone because you've woken up from the long winter's nap. You don't know who's out there. It could be the goofy neighborhood kid with a knife who you'd have the right to shoot, or it could be 6 professionals out there. And get your family in there, lock the safe rooms, and they won't get hit by flying bullets. And if you're like me, I've got a old-time lathe and plaster walls. They will withstand a .223 hitting them, which, test it for yourself. Don't count on what I'm telling you. But that's pretty, as my sticker says, bad to the bone there. That's amazing. But when you look at the layout of a plaster and lathe wall, it's got wiring, the plaster, the wood, and all of that.
Judge, you, as we're talking about home hardening, and you've talked about this before, one of the things that you want to do, one of your goals is if you can keep them from attempting to enter your home, going down the street somewhere else, then you're a little bit ahead of the game. And there are a lot of little things you can do, like if you've got a security system and they give you that sign that goes out by your driveway, and put the stickers on the windows all the way around your house. So
Absolutely.
That's discouraging. And one other thing, and then we did this with my mother after she became a widow and she sold my stepdad's car. She didn't have a car at the house.
Yeah.
And I'm of the opinion that I don't care if it's a junk car that will
Park a
barely
decoy
run,
car.
park it in the driveway, and that way, even if you're not at home, it looks like somebody may be in the house.
You can even do better if you want. Put a big size dog food bowl on your front porch.
Oh, there you
little
go.
Dog food in it. Gosh, you don't have a Great Dane, but it kind of looks like you might. Or men's size 14 flip flops. There are a lot of things. You're smarter than a burglar is. You've just got to think about it. And most people don't think about things like that, thank God. And the odds are you're not going to be burglarized. But if you're the one that is burglarized, especially home invasion type, you will wish you have done something. Let me give you two more quotes.
Okay.
None are more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe that they are free. And that is Wolfgang von Goethe back in 1853. That is really profound, because a lot of us think we're free now, and I know we're not as free as we were 100 years ago. Let's say 105 now.
I don't think we realize how much government intrudes into our lives.
105 years ago, you could buy any kind of drug you wanted over the counter, buy any type of gun, machine gun, and there were no federal income taxes. Mm-hmm. Now, compare that to today. It's interesting. Now, last quote from Cicero before we go. Almost no one dances sober unless he is insane.
I've got to think on that one.
That's very profound. Marcus Tullius Cicero, great Roman. Once again, I want to thank all our sponsors, including Law Office of Matt Green, all the Ace Hardware stores, Crayola, Moffett Road, and Spring Hill Avenue, McCoy Outdoors, especially for anything remotely related to guns, fishing, and outdoors. Want to thank Steve Moore. Want to thank Dr. Justin Foster, Mike Ward's Liberty Safe, Hunter Security, Hanson Heating and Air. That's very important this time. And want to thank this radio station and remind you to listen tomorrow to Laura Ingram, especially at 9:15, so you can hear Buck Allen, who is our singer-songwriter for this show.
And our guest tonight. And I'm glad he had a chance to come on and practice his interview for tomorrow.
Me too. And remember, you can watch this show on Facebook, and we'll eventually get it up to the website, www.armedalabama.com, and we're on every week at 7 to 8 p.m. Central Time. For Armed Alabama, this is Judge Rusty Johnston. We will see you next week on the show.